Good morning. It is July 15th, 2014 on the Daily Echo. Thanks for tuning in. It's early Tuesday morning. On the screen you will see what Stephen Covey refers to as the 5 emotional metastasizing cancers. And if we get involved in these 5 things, which many times during the day we will be surrounded by that. If we're not involved directly, those that we are with a lot of times are doing these things. It can be very dangerous to not only ourselves but those around us. And those things are criticizing. If we're constantly criticizing, usually that means that there's something within ourselves that we're not happy with. Typically, those people that gossip a lot or criticize have a very low self-esteem, and they, by demeaning somebody else, in their minds, it makes them look better. So we don't want to criticize. Complaining. We talked about the circle of concern and the circle of influence last week. When we're complaining, a lot of times we're focusing on things we have no control over. We're focusing on that circle of concern, the weather, other people's activities that we have no control over. We need to stop complaining and say, okay, what is the problem? What do I need to do about it? What can I do about it? And then take that necessary action. Comparing. Once again, if we are constantly trying to look to see how we measure up with other people, we're always going to find somebody that is probably better than us in a certain area, maybe in all areas if we look hard enough. And this is very damaging to the self-esteem. It's very damaging to continue to keep us motivated. It's a very stressful thing that creates problems within ourselves. It almost allows the person to want to root for the failure of the other person, because then that comparison, then we're a little bit better than them. This is very dangerous for our self-esteem, but it's also very dangerous for our self-development and growth. Competing. A lot of people say, why is competing so dangerous? Because in sports, competition is good, and I would agree. I think there are places that competition is good, and I think in the sports world it is fun. But unfortunately, the problem with competing is, especially young boys growing up, is they liken everything to a game, and there's always a winner and there's always a loser, and we can't sometimes look and see that more than one person can win. And competing can be a blessing at times to allow us to grow, but if everything we're doing is competitive and a competing nature, once again we will root for the failure of somebody else instead of be grateful for their success, compliment them, and know that more than one person can win. So we've got to be very, very careful with this. And then contending. I think as parents, one of the things that can be more bothersome than anything is in our home is when the kids are contending. Contending does not bring out any spirit of working together and any spirit of love. All of that goes down the drain. So we want to look at all 5 of these things and be very careful in what we're doing. And I think it's incredible how quickly these things can grow. So as you're moving throughout today, work on these things. Look through these over the next few weeks. In Stephen Covey's book, The 8th Habit, that followed the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the main premise of the book is for us to find our voice. And then once we find our voice, to help others find their voice. It's a great book. I'll do a synopsis on it later. But he talks a little bit more about these 5 metastasizing cancers. Have a wonderful Tuesday, terrific Tuesday. We will be coming at you again tomorrow on Wonderful Wednesday. Thanks as always.